So once again, we have the moratorium. Charlie was very insistent on this last time. The moratorium on pubes and Star Trek has been lifted, and now there is a moratorium on.
That's right. That's
moratorium. So we're just clarifying that we're clarifying that there's now a moratorium.
No moratoriums.
There's a moratorium on moratoriums. And that reminds me of a little joke. So I'm getting older, and the other day I found my first gray pubic hair. Unfortunately, it was on a piece of pizza I was eating at the time. I know.
It's a conspiracy!
So welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I certainly don't claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today or anything we have ever discussed. In fact, I'm barely qualified to go to the bathroom by myself. I shouldn't even be holding this iPad.
Ooh.
I certainly shouldn't open this can of beer with one hand.
Yeah, you did it.
I did it. Yay.
Yeah, good job.
I'm simply interested in learning what it is that these people that believe these theories believe. Yay for the learning. All the information gathered here was done online and is probably wrong as usual because, like I was just talking about, I just finished my annual stretch of St. Paddy's Day gigs. There was 11 gigs in 4 days.
Jesus.
It was crazy.
You took it easy this year.
Yeah. I'm too old for this stuff. And B, we've had so many episodes lately. So on our St. Paddy's Day, we had Aidan O'Donnell sit in, and we had our extra special, which should be out by the time this comes out.
Yeah, sometime. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll do it at some point. Yeah.
We'll post it on social media.
And see, these things change all the time. It's impossible to know what will develop at any point. Anyway, joining me as always are my old pals, Greg and Charlie.
Yeah.
This dynamic duo presented with a few selected theories and will interject with the clever banter. That's what they do. That's their thing, and I'm glad they do it. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny.
It's nice to be appreciated.
Well, hey, yeah. I sure do appreciate you, son of a bitch. Oh, sorry, Emma.
Enjoy that coffee, by the way.
Oh, that coffee's so good. Yeah. And I'm barely going to stay awake to the end of this. So if I start to nod off, just be like, muskrat or whatever. Just shout something at me here.
Is that our safe word? You can tell them our safe word?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Super quick before actually the funny thing is this is April 1st. So happy April Fool's Day when this gets released. Yeah. Super quick before we get started.
The real joke is that there will be no editing done.
Yeah.
This is all one take. One take,
What?
Jake. No overdubs for you, buddy.
Okay, that'll be punishment for April Fool's Day. Before we get started, if you'd like to keep tags on what we were up to here at It's a Conspiracy, then please check out our Twitter at Is It a Conspiracy, our Facebook group, It's a Conspiracy, our Instagram page, It's a Conspiracy Podcast, our email, It's a Conspiracy at protonmail.com, and our Patreon account, patreon.com/It's a Conspiracy. Yay. Okay. Ready then. On with the show. Charlie and Greg, as always, I would like to point out that I will include a bunch of references and pictures in the episode description, and you bastards won't look, but you should.
Hey, I put them there. Hey, man, I put them there.
I know. That'll say where this stuff was dug up from. Now, okay. Now, Charlie, with a yes or no, can you tell me if you're familiar with these three things?
Yes.
Number one, Coca-Cola and Sigmund Freud.
Is that two separate things or one thing?
That's one thing.
I'm half familiar with it.
Number two, Avril Lavigne's doppelganger.
No.
Okay. It's Avril Lavigne. Looks like her, but it's not her.
She's got a goatee.
That's how you can tell. That's funny you should mention that. So the third one is the infamous Superman mustache deception. Yeah. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you told me about it the other day.
I should have known. When I brought it up, I was like, oh, I hope he forgets this. Okay. Well, topic number one, Coca-Cola and Sigmund Freud.
Cola.
Now, there was a time, probably for thousands of years, where mountain climbing in the Andes simply wasn't complete without chewing on coca leaves along the way and getting really high off of that sweet cocaine.
Those were the days.
That personality-popping boost of charisma was exactly what pioneer mountaineers were looking for. Just a little personality pop.
Trying to get a fix.
Just be like, get a little tweaky, running my tongue on my teeth. At some point, a very clever business person decided that the teeth-chattering, twitchy drug needed to make a debut outside of that mountain range and needed to be introduced to the rest of the world. Apparently, it doesn't travel very well. You're both familiar with this. I've heard about the balloon incidents from both of you.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
No, yeah, sorry.
No.
Okay. It was a matter of synthesis in order for it to become widespread. This was accomplished in 1855 by Friedrich Gottke, who came up with the catchy name erythroxyline. I know.
Rolls off the tongue.
Rolls off the tongue, right up the nose. Someone eventually suggested going by a variation of the original name, Coca, and it surprisingly stuck. Shortly after its synthesis, there was a number of pharmaceutical companies that became interested.
Big Coca.
Yeah. And surprisingly, a young man named Sigmund Freud, father of psychoanalysis, became a champion of the cocaine cause.
Yeah, of course he did.
I know. He was all about it. And so was Sherlock Holmes. There was a whole bunch of people.
Of course he was.
Jules Verne's was all about the cocaine.
I
Just
thought that was opium.
oh, man. Whatever they could get their hands on, they're like, we're probably not supposed to have this, but
What do you got?
yeah, like, let's just go ahead. If it feels good, do it, right?
That's
Like,
right.
Yeah.
For science.
Science!
There's no side effects whatsoever. Now this company, this huge pharmaceutical company called Park Davis, or it might be Parky Davis. I'm not sure. Park Davis, I think. They are now a member of the Pfizer Group, and Sigmund Freud was chosen to be their spokesbearer for cocaine sales.
Man, could you imagine if that was nowadays and he would have had commercials?
Oh man, never mind. He's a creepy old like dude with a weird accent, but he's like peddling cocaine.
Here's Siggy Freud for big cocaine.
Have some, come on, let's go. He not only became the official guy, he became a voracious consumer himself.
Sometimes a sniff is just a sniff.
And he insisted on the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, sexual, and cultural rewards he'd received from using this wonder drug. Yeah.
I'm sold. Let's get some.
I know, it's amazing.
I know a guy. I mean,
It's not that kind of podcast there, Greg. So Sigmund Freud is famous for a lot of reasons, but there's a Freudian slip. Charlie, you familiar with the Freudian slip?
Sure.
Okay, I'll give you a classic example of one here. This guy is he's buying tickets for a little travel. And he goes in to buy the tickets, and this very voluptuous woman is selling him the tickets, and she leans over, and she's like, "What can I get for you?" And he's like, "I'd like 2 pickets to Pittsburgh."
Pick it to Pittsburgh.
Whoopsie.
Yep.
And his buddy's like, "Man, like the same thing happened the other day. I was eating breakfast with my wife, and I meant to say, 'Can you pass me the cream?' And I accidentally said, 'You dirty bitch, you've ruined my life and wasted my youth. I hate you.'"
Oh, man.
wow.
Whoopsie doodle.
I had a nickel for every time that happened.
Just kind of slipped out. On its addictive properties, Freud wrote, "It seems to me noteworthy." That should be noseworthy. Come on. "And I discovered this in myself and in other observers who are capable of judging such things, that a first dose or even repeated doses of coca produce no compulsive desire to use the stimulant further. On the contrary, one feels a certain unmotivated aversion to the substance." As this all unfolded, a new soft drink was hitting the shelves of local grocers and soda jerks. You're both jerks, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makers were looking for the public eye and an opportunity to cash in on this new craze. Thus, Coca-Cola was born.
Brilliantly.
Yeah, brilliantly.
Now, I don't know if you did this research, but what came first, Pepsi or Coke?
We're going to talk about that in a second. There's one market difference.
Very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just going to chug some sweet Coke now. There's a couple of really good names coming up here. John Stith Pemberton.
Good old
That's not
Stiffy?
Yeah, Stith.
Oh, Stithy.
He's a stiff lord. Yeah. He sounds like a butler. Is credited as the inventor of Coca-Cola, but a man named Asa Griggs Candler, who, that's another great name.
So common.
Yeah.
There's like
just
millions
another
of them in the
Asa.
book.
Asa
Yeah.
Griggs. Holy. He saw the potential of this and cultivated the image the name and he started fiddling with the recipe. It was Candler who decided on the name Coca-Cola, which was mainly due to the presence of 2 medicinal ingredients, cola nuts and groovy cocaine. Oh, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It was almost Cola Coca, if you can believe that.
Cola Coca.
Yeah. The drink, thanks to people like Sigmund Freud and Jules Verne and everybody else, was just having a big Coke party. Was not only a social phenomenon, it was an alternative to alcohol, and it was actually prescribed to pregnant women and was advertised as a great treat for infants and seniors alike. It's like, oh, that baby's not going to sleep? Give him a bottle of Coke.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
That's going to wake them up more.
Of course it will.
It's going to be way more jittery.
We know this now. And this was
I
when
see.
it was like just bursting with cocaine. So
Marketing
yeah.
is an excellent sector.
If you're gonna give a baby cocaine, there's just a lot of images there, right? You're like, okay.
Here's my question about that. Were they giving them the leaves or were they chopping it up and mixing it with baby powder?
They put it in they put it in the drink. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if cocaine actually was prescribed. They were like, well, that baby can't sleep, like here's like a pill form or something. Could have been done. Like they did have
Well, they did all sorts of that kind of thing, right?
They did all kinds of versions. I mean, there's a reason they used it
Cough medicine in quotes.
Yeah, in like surgeries and stuff like that. That's right. It's most really nasty drugs have come from some kind of surgical background. This recipe, patented somewhere around 1885, was changed. Was that the year that they go back to in Back to the Future 3? 1885?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, if there's only some way to look. Is it? Yes. I'm getting the thumbs up.
Greg is thumbed
Yeah, it
up.
is.
Greg is thumbs
Yeah, it
up
is.
and right on.
Good memory.
Holy. Greg, were you born when Back to the Future 3 came out?
I was born 91.
91. Every time I hear that, I just like, what the hell? Give me some ID.
I know I'm baby-faced.
Yeah, you certainly are. This recipe, patented somewhere around 1885, was changed within a few short years, and eventually cocaine was made illegal in the early 20th century. However, the recipe for Coca-Cola was only tweaked slightly. The company had insisted, despite the presence of coca leaves, still in. So in the modern recipe for Coca-Cola, it's been tweaked a little bit, and the company has insisted that despite the presence of coca leaves, there is no more cocaine. So they're like, yes, there's coca, but no more cocaine.
Damn it.
And this has just dogged them ever since. This came to a head during the 1980s. Greg, you'll remember this when New Coke came out.
Yeah,
I know, it's disgusting.
He said 91 though.
I know, I'm making a little.
I'm just trying to fit in,
That's
guys.
just some of the comedy here. Yeah, it was released, and it was chiefly a new version of Coca-Cola that didn't have any coca leaves in it. So they're like, new Coke, in brackets, no cocaine.
New Coke, more like no Coke.
Yeah, and this drink release is one of the greatest marketing failures of all time. And the new variety didn't last long at all. Coca-Cola actually set up a call-in line where you could call in and talk to a counselor about your issues with this new product. You're like, yeah. And people were like, is this because like it doesn't have cocaine in it anymore? Like everybody's going through like withdrawal? Like what's happening here?
I just want to throw in something. I've heard about this before, about like new Coke and old Coke. I feel like there's like a slight conspiracy. Like they purposely made new Coke taste terrible. Just to get sales back, and we're like, oh, we brought in classic Coca-Cola.
We brought it back with the classic recipe that's full of cocaine. And new Coke doesn't have
That's right.
coca in it. And guess what Coke without coca basically is?
What?
Pepsi.
Yeah.
Dun
Garbage.
dun dun.
Blue canned shit.
Oh, it's terrible. So when people are like, yeah, Pepsi will be fine, unless you're like, I need some cocaine, like just the old nostril. You're like, no. Does it have cocaine in it?
Hey, Andrew.
Yes,
That's
Charlie.
great, but what are we drinking? What are we drinking?
Well, Charlie, we've got the Overlander Pale Ale. This is coming from wonderful brewsters in Alberta here called Folding Mountain Brewing.
Folding Mountain.
Yeah. So let's get the description on her. It is an English pale ale, brewed with Canadian malts and American hops. This is a clean, balanced beer and a great introduction for newcomers to the craft beer world.
That was pretty good. I feel like there should have been like an ocean sea breeze and some seagulls over top, just layered underneath what you were just. Maybe I'll do that in post.
that scenery, just kind of sitting maybe on a porch, looking at the mountains.
Yeah,
Just a
totally.
lake in front of you as like the loons kind of
Totally.
fly through.
Is that the end of what are we drinking?
Well, let's take a sip. Let's give it an idea.
Yeah, try it out.
Oh yeah, that's easy drinking right there. Kind of fits that whole
It's pretty
idea.
good, actually.
It really is good. It's right up there with Blue Buck, in my opinion.
Is it the journey or is it the destination?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column
Say
B.
column A, column B
Yeah.
situation. Totally.
I mean, this beer will get you there.
You'll be on a journey, all right.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice. Now, did you pick this one because of the sweet can, as you are apt to do?
Well, of course. I just love the geometric shapes, the way it just kind of presents itself with that kind of almost teal green look.
That's right. Sweet cans, sweet cans.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the labeling and label on it. It's pretty basic. Pops right out.
Well, they're not trying to, work too hard on it. It's not too much lettering.
They don't want to pay an extra artist for something they could just throw together in Illustrator. I mean, come on.
An artist gets paid nowadays?
I mean, this could be Microsoft Paint right out
Mostly in exposures.
Nah. Instagram.
there. All right. Yeah, number 2. We're going with Avril Lavigne's Doppelganger.
With a name like Avril,
Oh, yeah.
how do you not know a lot about this one?
And, the last name having that kind of French intonation, you
gotta know about your Canadian pop stars, right?
That's the thing. I mean, we have to have that ownership of Canadian pop stars. Be able to say, she's ours.
Like Miss Celine Dion.
Exactly. And you said it just right. There you go.
Voice of an angel.
She is the most popular pop singer in all of Canada.
Oh, I'm from the East Coast, so I've spoken a word of French or two.
There we go. But only just one or two.
Well,
And
Perfect. So the idea here is there's a theory that Canadian superstar, yes, superstar, and Charlie's favorite singer, Avril Lavigne, committed suicide in the early 2000s right after her debut album and was replaced by a doppelganger who feels bad about the whole thing and, much like the Beatles, has taken to giving subtle hints about the truth through the majesty of song lyrics.
So they're just doing like the classic like bait and switch.
Oh, yeah. So the circle brings us back that the doppelganger's name, do you want to try to guess the name, Charlie? Since you love Avril so much?
Lavril Alvine.
Close. Is Melissa.
Oh, I was right there.
Right there. So
Right
close.
there.
It is, in fact, the thing. So apparently she can't talk about it, but she's trying to make things a little less complicated. Bazing. There we go. There's one for your mother. So here are a few of the main points that supporters of this theory use to try to get the truth out there. Her second album is called Under My Skin. That clearly means that she hung herself, got a doppelganger, and that the doppelganger feels bad about this. The cover even features Avril, quotation marks, Avril,
You mean Melissa?
Melissa,
Yeah.
with a red X on her arm.
Marked woman.
Her lyrics have become excruciatingly darker and more mysterious.
Yeah, but didn't they say that's because she started actually writing her own music?
Well, I mean, that's the counter theory.
Yeah.
But if you really believe in the whole doppelganger, that's just people trying to misinform you. It's fake news. Fake news. So, in the song My Happy Ending, there are these lyrics. Well, and here's the thing, Charlie. You may know the tune, and I'm going to try to just make it up as I go along here. In a city so dead, so high hanging, in such a fragile rope. So,
when
of
did
course,
she
clear.
become British? It's
Well,
like
it-
Paul McCartney trying to be Avril Lavigne.
Well, this is the doppelganger, of course. Avril Lavigne just had a clear-cut Canadian accent, right?
yeah, eh?
Yeah.
Come on, bud. Sing it right.
Like totes. In the song Together, she forebodingly claims, "The truth comes to me and I'm living a lie." You can hear it, just the emotion there.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It says it all.
I mean, it really just speaks to the truth. But if not the most convincing one, the darkest of all, Hello Kitty. Mom's not home tonight, so we can roll around, have a pillow fight like a major rager OMFG.
Wow.
Let's all slumber party like a fat kid on a pack of Smarties. Someone chuck a cupcake at me. It's time for spin the bottle. Not gonna talk about it tomorrow. Keep it just between you and me.
These are real lyrics?
These are real lyrics.
real lyrics.
And that's not even the end. It gets dark.
Just did she actually use like the OMFG as a lyric in her song?
It is, in fact, there. Spelled out correctly. I didn't just say OMFG in the place of oh my.
Oh, yeah, I
bleeping
literally
up.
thought that was your moment to be like, I can't believe I'm singing this song.
I did
right
not
now.
decide to censor this.
Okay,
There we go.
clarified.
Because in the world of podcast, there is no such thing as censors.
In the world.
In the world. And so it finishes off. Let's play truth or dare now. We can roll around in our underwear. How every silly kitty should be. So you can see just how nuanced and layered those lyrics are.
Absolutely. It just tells the story of how she's obviously living a lie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, rolling around, having sleeping parties, throwing cupcakes at each other. These are the things that doppelgangers do.
That's what I do when I am mentally stressed.
Oh yeah.
I think these are even more straightforward than Paul is dead.
See?
You don't have to play this crap backwards.
That's one of those things where, I'm surprised that her handlers didn't jump right on this and just kind of nix the whole thing from the start.
That's enough, Avril. You
That's it.
stop singing about cats,
That's right.
kitties, and cupcakes.
Little cute pink things.
Skater boys.
Exactly. Get back to
Well,
teenage
Skater
angst.
Boys would have been like before she died. That was original.
Yeah.
That's OG Avril.
Oh, sorry.
You know, the ones where she's walking across a bridge forlornly. What's the name of that song, Charlie? Do you remember that one?
Bridge Lady? I don't know.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bridge Lady.
One of her classic, just more ballady,
Died
kind of
on
very
a
soft
bridge.
songs. Yeah. So that's the whole thing. It's not even her lyrics. There's more to this, by the way. She changed her look.
Yeah, she got rid of the tie.
Yeah. I mean, that alone is a signal that she's not who she says she is anymore. But on top of that, I mean, obviously one of the biggest selling points of her first album was the skater punk aesthetic, right? So that was we talked about the tank top with the tie, you know, the shorts, the kicks, the whole thing.
That was a baller look.
Oh, yeah.
I totally wore that when I was that age.
So you got to think, with all of this evidence, is it a coincidence? People don't just change styles. And if they do, it's because they died and were replaced by someone named Melissa.
Is that what keeps happening to Madonna?
I think so. Every time she changes some sort of stylistic kind of
every
thing,
new album
a
is
new
a different
doppelganger. Yeah.
That makes sense.
You know, that whole thing of just every single artist as they reinvent themselves. I mean, David Bowie clearly has been replaced by, you know, doppelgangers, maybe even alien super beings.
Clones that just
I'm-
got dumber and dumber.
Yeah.
Fairly certain he was an alien from the start.
Of candy that leads
give
you.
me your candy, touch
Just-
my light up stick.
Just like this Avril Lavigne thing, where the doppelganger is leaving the little candies for you to follow. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Good job.
Until you find out the truth.
They're doing a wonderful job.
Avril is dead. Melissa is back. Long live the queen.
Oh, boy.
Or I guess the princess of pop. I don't know if she could be the queen. I mean, she did marry Chad Kroger, or where's that Melissa's choice?
Maybe she's just the Canadian queen of pop.
Yeah.
Well, you just said queen, so, like, you know, queens' marriages have always been pre-planned.
Oh. So it's like a whole uniting of Canadian pop rock stardom.
And, like, hard rock country, I'd call it.
Would you call
I don't know. I don't really
the
listen. Like,
Chad's music?
I
as-
find that very offensive considering I am a country legend.
There we go.
I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of their music, and I'm sorry if I offended you.
Just
Very
do
offended.
not taint Charlie's genre
Yeah.
with.
Don't taint me, man.
I know you're part of your band, and I'm very sorry.
It's one of those things where, you know,
Part of my band. I am my band.
that you just completely
No, I'm
forgot.
still flustered about the whole Chad Kruger country thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
God, can you correct me then? Like, what would you consider it?
Shit.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go.
But I was trying to be
Like
nice because
that's poop mouth.
It's a shit sandwich.
Shit sandwich.
Right there.
everybody's going to take a bite.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just accidentally ingest it. You just turn on the radio and shit sandwich right in the face. And you're like, who did this?
Shit sandwich.
There we go. So
Is that it?
I think that's the idea. That's
Any
all the
more
information.
song lyrics for us there, Andrew?
Not on this one. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm trying to remember that song where the video of Avril walking across the bridge is, and I can't.
But I believe didn't she do that in every music video?
Pretty much. I mean, that's the thing. That was still in the Avril angst kind of teen years.
It was like when REM was like, "Hey, check it out! We discovered overhead projectors."
She was trying to convince Shania that she, after you've discovered me, I'm going to break free. And she couldn't break free, so obviously she committed suicide and was replaced by a doppelganger. That is the whole idea.
I can see
But
that.
So from song lyrics where she just drops subtle hints, the album cover with just that slightly different look, and of course her changing persona and look itself. I mean, the evidence is there.
Okay. All right, I guess we're moving on to Mandela Minute.
Mandela Minute.
I think that's the idea.
All right.
What have you got for us?
What do I got for you? Well, for people who are never heard our episode before and don't know what the Mandela Minute is, it's the belief that there are two parallel universes that have collided together, and there are people that have now come to live together that are from both sides of the different universes, and their own universe had perceived history in a different way. So there are a lot of people that believe Nelson Mandela died back in the 90s in jail. They even remember it being like kind of publicly displayed on television, but he actually died like December 24th, 2014 or something like that. So, I love Disney movies. Do you guys like Disney movies? How about you, Charlie?
Oh, dude, I really loved that Robin Hood movie. Remember with the guy
fox?
in the beginning where he's playing that I'm a musician. I can't
The
remember.
mandolin.
Yeah.
There we go.
In the beginning,
Or the
playing the
lute.
mandolin. That's why I became an artist.
Ooh, you were inspired by the cartoon animal characters.
Yeah. And then like Fox and the Hound.
Ooh.
Cried my eyes out.
That is one that really is a gut shot there at the end.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just like ages me because I'm old.
That's true. It's like you're not, mentioning the newer films like Mulan.
I don't
or
even know what that is.
Tangled.
I'd have to say The Lion King is my favorite.
Lion King. There you go.
Yeah, classic. But I'm just not going to lie. I totally have never seen this movie that I'm about to tell you guys that this Mandela Minute is from.
Okay.
But it is one of the most misquoted lines ever in Disney history.
Ooh. Sitting with bated breath. What are we talking about?
Everybody remembers it as "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all." Does anybody like?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a classic line.
Is that not the way the
That's
line
Snow
goes?
White, yeah.
Is that Snow White? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the evil queen.
Yeah, was not a big fan of Snow White, so I just never
Where her
watched it.
self-
Well, that's
Self-esteem.
just from my generation.
Yeah, well,
Anybody can relate. Her self-esteem is just tied into being the hottest of the forest or whatever.
the most bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway. So the actual line goes, "Magic mirror on the wall, am I the fairest of them all?"
Ooh.
That doesn't seem right.
But that's what it is. If you watch the movie now, it's magic mirror on the wall instead of mirror, mirror on the wall.
That doesn't seem right.
So
So
it could be just one of those things where maybe just
So
through,
in your-
through
so
people
you're-
misquoting it so
yeah.
often.
So you're saying, Charlie, in your universe, you remember mirror, mirror
I
on the
remember
wall.
Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
Who's the fairest of them all?
Yeah. I remember that movie, and I got real grossed out when the heart came out of the box. I got real scared when she ran through the forest and all the ghosts were coming, but they were really birds. I remember the mirror being
Yeah.
mirror, mirror.
The Axeman with, comes to murder her, but decides not to because she's just
Yeah.
that darned pretty.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't think I need
Sexual
to watch Cinderella.
tension.
Like,
Yeah.
Snow,
no, sorry,
Snow White.
Snow White.
Yeah.
And
Get
the
it right
seven
there, Greg.
dwarfs.
Well,
Yeah.
Those dwarves are like,
forgive me. Oh, and you, how about you, Andrew?
Well, I mean, it could go one of the ways. My memory tells me that it's mirror, mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But then I flash to things like, what was her name who did the Oscar speech? It was like, "You like me. You really do like me." And it wasn't actually what she said, but that's how everybody remembered it.
Oh, It's not Sally Fields.
Yeah,
Sally
yeah,
Fields,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was from Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
No? Well, she was
Some
in
other
Thelma and
movie.
Louise.
Steel Magnolias or something like that.
Yeah. That's another one that the internet will judge us all. How dare you not remember the Oscar-winning movie that she played in?
I didn't do that.
So,
Star Trek wrestling.
So in
We're
my
saying-
universe,
in your universe,
it's Mirror Mirror.
okay.
So for once, I think we were actually all
In agreement.
from the same universe.
Okay.
Right? Charlie's usually the odd man out.
Charlie's usually the one coming from the other universe.
Or no, he's
interloping.
the one living in the real universe.
Oh, he's the
I
real one.
beg
and
to differ. I'm
we're
still in the
visitors?
real universe.
Well, it's it could just be like we're in your Matrix.
Yeah.
You know?
That's all right.
We're just,
But yeah, that's
specters, images of ourselves.
the Mandela Minute. Feel free to go watch a Disney movie with your kids by yourself.
Yeah.
There's
And get angry at the screen if you remembered it differently.
It's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah. Ooh. There you go.
It was a little bit of that pale ale coming back up.
Yep. A little bit of the repressed memories.
There you go,
of Mirror,
boys.
Mirror. Yeah, there we go.
Well, anyway, that's our Mandela Minute. So
Excellent. Cheers. Cheers.
All right, so
Yeah, sorry.
let's just
Try again.
okay. Here I am. Yes, hi.
Rock you like a hurricane.
Stop yelling.
I'm sorry about that. I get a little when I talk loudly. There was this guy last night, and he was like working with this St. Patrick's Day thing, and he came up to me and he said,
Do you mind if I use your microphone? I need a microphone to talk into. And I'm like,
No, you don't.
"You don't," and I do mind, but I've got one here for you that you can set up. And the minute this guy with voice and modulation got on the mic, he was like, and these are the I'm like, where the hell was the shouty guy? And then in the middle, he's like, for 3 weeks in the United Kingdom, and they're just going to be back to visit. And everyone's like,
It's a real self-conscious Sally.
it was bizarre. Yeah, he was a Sally Field. Yeah. Anyways, so number 3 is our Superman mustache
Superstache.
deception.
We'll call it Superstache from here on in.
It should have been Superstache. Thank you for. Okay, I'm glad you didn't wait until we were done the topic.
No, we're talking
about
because now
cocaine
it's we're not.
Superstache.
It's cocaine. It's actually cocaine has had a weird
Effect on you this
all
evening.
already, yeah.
Jeez. You're all over the place.
Usually I'm fine, but tonight just a couple lines and I'm all over the place here. Justice League, the movie. Have you guys both seen Justice League?
Yeah, it was not
Yes.
very good.
Okay. It really wasn't. There were a lot of problems with that movie. Hold tight on that.
Save it for the thing.
Yeah, I know. We'll save our opinions. Justice League, the movie, was at one point one of the most anticipated the movies. However, stories of troubled production, delays, writing problems, etc. plagued the production, and eventually this film ended up pretty much killing off all chances of anything moving forwards in regard to Batfleck or Super Cavill.
Super Cavill.
Yeah. One thing in particular.
Are these their Hollywood names?
These are their Hollywood names. Yeah, it's Hollywood Minute here. I'm overlapping with my other podcast for the Hollywood Minute. One thing in particular bogged down the production during reshoots, and the internet has turned this into like the thing of legend. And that's it. It was I'll get into it here. Henry Cavill. Charlie, do you find Henry Cavill attractive?
Not really, no.
What?
No.
Okay, no. You're just gonna stop talking. It's like, all right,
more of
all
a
right.
Batfleck guy.
Greg, do you find Henry Cavill attractive?
It's the mustache. Mission Impossible.
Okay, now we're going to talk about Mission Impossible. Now, Charlie on the way in talked about how mustaches make you look evil. Now, I must ask you a question. Have you seen Mission Impossible Fallout?
No.
Henry Cavill is in it, and he has one sweet, creamy mustache. Like it's
Sweet stash.
Yeah, like I'd suck ice cream out of that thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Greg, did you have some thoughts on that?
No, not touching that one.
Okay.
General disgust.
So now, but obviously Henry Cavill
You're
grew.
lactose intolerant. And you know
I
this.
know. That's like I know it's bad for me. I'm gonna have it anyway. But he was the villain in that movie, and so since he's the villain, mustache because mustache means
Spoiler
bad
alert
guy.
if you haven't
Yeah.
watched the movie.
That's right. Oh, spoiler! If you haven't seen it, he's the bad guy in it. During a break from filming Mission Impossible, Warner Brothers got in touch with Cavill and explained that due to a number of factors, including replacing original director Zack Snyder after a family tragedy, there was a bunch of reshoots to do. That's odd to do a funny accent.
That is a weird
and then
one.
followed
That's
up with a family tragedy.
Zack
Snyder and his family tragedy.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to his, Paramount was on a break with the project anyway, so Paramount was taking a break. I think something happened to Tom Cruise. He was cruising about, got a little too crazy.
Wait, did
snapped both legs? Who knows?
Didn't he get? Wasn't there?
Something happened.
He jumped off a building. And,
he probably jumped off a building that was being flown through space, and like a shark bit him.
Some sort
or
of a
something
helicopter accident.
It wouldn't surprise me. That guy's insane.
He did some actual legitimate crazy
He
stunts.
always
for that thing.
does.
Yeah.
He like strapped himself to a plane in this, and it's like they're like, Tom Cruise, you're crazy.
Hey Tom,
yeah.
you don't have to do this, Tom. No, strap me to the plane.
Let's go for it. Come on,
Let's go. I'm
Give me
crazy.
the dynamite. Give me the dynamite.
And he's all hopped up on cocaine.
No, the real, not the prop dynamite.
It makes me wonder, like, he's a great actor, like, for doing his stunts, but is he really happy? Is he just doing this on purpose?
Because there's a lot of death behind those eyes.
Look,
like
there's only
nothing.
one way out of being that deep in Scientology, my friend.
Oof. But anyway, so something happened with Tom Cruise, and they had to take like a 2-month break. They're like, oh, this is perfect. Paramount said, go ahead. You've got your 8 weeks. Go ahead, and here's Henry Cavill. Here's Handsome Henry back. You can have him.
Handsome Henry.
And he can return to the project. Just make sure he comes back to us as is. And this is where things get weird. So Henry Cavill's like, okay, I'll be back. I'll be in the same shape. What about this mustache? Cavill explained that the delectable mustache had taken him about 3 months to cultivate properly, and that the short break wouldn't be enough time to regrow something so beautifully majestic, something right out of a Disney movie. And Warner Brothers offered to cover the cost of digitally restoring the mustache if need be.
Sure.
And Paramount were like, no, we want the real Cavill deal.
People can tell.
People can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, people can tell if you put a fake mustache
We
on
don't want
someone.
a CG stash.
So, yeah. This meant that Cavill had to return to the production of Justice League in full Superman gear and reshoot his scenes with a fucking mustache on his face, dressed as Superman.
That sounds wrong.
I know it sounds wrong.
You have a
Superman shouldn't have a mustache.
very specific look of disgust on your face right now.
It's just if there's a picture of there, I've yet to see it. And there's fake ones.
Have you seen the picture of Nicolas Cage as Superman?
Oh,
with
dude,
the long hair.
and that's weird enough. But imagine, and we're gonna,
Why are we
Superman.
talking
I don't
about
know
that. I wanna see
Superman.
Nick Cage as
Superman shouldn't have a mustache. I don't know why that's the way it is. He has a beard in the Man of Steel, and that's fine.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's why he specifically shouldn't have a mustache. Because his hair is so strong that it can lift, like rocks, like giant weights. So there's
Dude.
no way he can fucking shave a mustache.
What's he going to use to shape? But he does have a beard in the first one. And remember we talked about our Superman thing a little while ago with like the aliens, and the kid goes into that Superman museum. I think it's Superman 4. And there's one hair holding up
that's
the
what I'm
tongue.
talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and we said it was one of his pubes.
Yeah, yeah, it totally was. Super pube.
Yeah, super pube, yeah. Anyways, Warner Brothers planned to digitally remove the mustache in post-production and tried their very, very best to keep this quiet. Ultimately, an animator on the project anonymously leaked the story on Reddit and then was subsequently fired from production. And we'll come back to that in a second here. But the rumors began to spread. Thus far, there have been no confirmed pictures of Cavill in costume with Crustache or Superstache, but the proof is in the movie itself. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys a couple of quick pictures here. Okay, here. So first off, here's Henry Cavill. Here's Handsome Henry as Superman pre-mustache.
Yeah.
Sure.
Glorious.
I guess.
Look at that.
He looks a little simple.
True American hero.
Amazing. And he's British. He looks mega British in this. He looks more British than the bloody Duke of Edinburgh or whatever his name is. Okay, here's Handsome Henry with a mustache. Look at that. That thing's going to take you out for dinner.
He looks better there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy you dessert, give you a lift home, wait till you're in the house before he drives away at the house.
Splash
the house.
some milk on his
The house.
face, and then you can just suck it right off.
Now, here is Exhibit A of Superman in one of the scenes where this mustache was removed. So here's Exhibit A. This is in the movie. Okay. I know. That we're not in opinion time yet.
That's something else.
Here's Exhibit B. This is from the opening minute of the movie. So here's Exhibit B. Here we go there.
No.
Yeah, that's in the movie, man.
He looks like one of the characters from The Matrix.
He looks like the guy that Jim Carrey played on that, like, In Living Color, that had like his lips burned off, the fireman Jim or whatever his name was.
Oh, right.
Okay, now here's a close up from the movie, and he looks like, I can't believe this is just some terrifying stuff here. Are you guys ready? Okay, you ready? Like I don't want to unleash this on you. Okay, here we go.
Do it.
There we go. Okay, so we'll put all this stuff in the episode description. Now, Charlie, you have a bit of a look on your face like you're not exactly sure. You're a design guy. Do you feel like you could have done better with like a pack of crayons and like a Sharpie?
You mean some Crayola?
Like a pink Sharpie?
He's missing his lips.
That's
He's
rough.
completely missing his lips. It looks like someone used real eyes and teeth and put them in a sack of sawdust and then punched it into the shape of a human face. And then that sack of sawdust was like cursed by an old witch devil from...
I mean, come on. It doesn't help that he's wrapped in a Superman suit.
It really doesn't help.
It's garbage.
Yeah. You'd almost suggest that putting a mustache on would be better than...
Yeah.
Okay, now at first, all parties involved tried to deny this mustache fiasco, but since Justice League came out and basically flopped, Cavill has decided to come clean. He explained that the mustache was, air quotes, waxed by adding green dots to his face and digitally removing each hair one at a time and drawing in a clean-shaven look, and then his lips were replaced. He's got a real Yosemite Sam in Mission Impossible Fallout, which was so good. He was so great.
He was more jacked in that than in Justice League.
And he was plenty jacked. I'm talking downtown, like fire.
He was Jack downtown.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll watch that movie all day.
What movie did you watch? I don't know if we're talking about the same thing now.
I'm talking about Mission Impossible here, which is I really liked it. And yeah, usually those movies freak me out, but I love that movie, man. Anyways, apparently it took 6 weeks of work for the 1-minute clip at the beginning of the film. And that's hands down the most obvious use of this. And altogether, the mustache deception cost the production over $3 million.
Good Lord.
To get rid of a mustache.
Just, you know what? I'll give you a razor for $1.
And how much time of reshoot did they use in the film?
Oh, they had huge reshoots and they had like 8 weeks to do it because there was like a rush schedule. The reshoots cost $25 million.
Oh, it must be nice. Must be nice to have that kind of money.
Get them to shave it off.
Just lay it around.
Okay, so then, Charlie, do you know what time it is?
It's opinion time?
It's opinion time.
Opinion time, opinion time. Hey, everybody, it's opinion time, opinion time, opinion time. Hey, everybody, it's opinion time.
Okay, then. I guess we'll start with Charlie here. Charlie, do you remember what subject number 1 was?
Oh, it feels like it's been a lifetime. No.
I'm going to give you a hint. 1980s, Die Hard, a $5 bill shoved up one of your nostrils.
Oh, the Coca-Cola. Oh, man, I need a couple of those.
Now, Greg, do you remember what our second subject was?
No, not really.
You know, teenage angst.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I mean. I don't listen to Avril Lavigne, so yeah. Avril Lavigne's doppelganger, Melissa.
I don't think you should listen to Avril Lavigne if you can't respect her.
I respect her. I just don't listen to her music.
That's
I feel like I'm respecting her by not listening to her music. Like,
well,
it's
fine.
Opinion time has definitely started here. And yeah, okay. So number 3, Andrew, do you remember what the Mandela Minute was? It was whether or not...
mirror, mirror on the wall.
Right. And I definitely remember it as being mirror, mirror. I come from the mirror, mirror universe, and we were all on the same page for once. Usually Charlie's from the shit universe where he's all...
Yeah.
Superior universe.
Yeah, no, totally.
Well, he's got like
Proper universe.
like 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that.
because he remembers... yeah. He's usually in the other universe. Okay, and then our last one here. Charlie, do you remember what our last subject was?
Superstache.
Superstache. Okay. All right, okay. So for number one, I got to read something really quickly here for this Coca-Cola fiasco. Apparently, in order to keep the patent, there has to be a trace amount of coca, or as we like to call it here, sweet cocaine. Yeah.
The devil's dandruff.
Trademark. Two sweets.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, the devil's dandruff has to be present in the beverage. This practice evidently continues to this day, albeit the law has changed so that the cocaine requirement for the contraband can be maximum 1/400th of a grain per ounce of syrup. Now, there's a lot of us that work in the restaurant industry or have worked in the restaurant industry. So per ounce of syrup, you guys have worked with these like pop machines before. So
I mean, the most I've done is pour out of it.
yeah, but like you've seen the machines hooked up, like the big bag of syrup that makes like the pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one bag of syrup makes like hundreds of glasses of drinks. So if it's 1/400th of a grain per ounce, it's not a whole lot. By modern standards, that would mean the 25 million gallons of syrup, which produces about 200 million gallons of actual drinks, would collectively altogether for 25 million gallons, you would get about a 600th of an ounce of cocaine. But still, it's 2019 and that shit's got to stop. I mean, it's ruining lives, but yeah. So do you guys have any?
I think things were better then.
When you could just have some cocaine
Yes.
and be like, hey, pregnant woman, you know what'll cheer that baby
That's
up?
better for you.
Yeah,
It'll give you that kick you need to get through the day.
I suppose so. Little
Yeah.
pick me up, little personality pop.
Look, with or without the cocaine in it, even if it's a trace amount, it's still better than Pepsi.
Oh, there's no doubt. And that is the chief ingredient. That's why, I mean, I'm not trying to be pro-cane by any way.
Pro-cane.
But, like,
Pro-cane.
when somebody's like, oh, Pepsi tastes the same, I'm like, you're
No,
a piece of
that's
shit and you should
bullshit.
stop lying to yourself and everyone else. Like,
Yeah.
don't you have a family that you should be being honest with? Like, go just get in your vehicle and drive into a lake and don't get out of that car.
Coca-Cola's tearing this family apart.
Do you guys think it's possible that in future generations they'll look back at us and be like, people used to laugh that there was like 6 tablespoons of syrup in this one can of Coke? Do you think they're going to look back on us and be like,
Well, they're going to look back on us and be like, can't believe those motherfuckers drank aspartame.
well, there's that, and aspartame's a whole other thing. But okay, so let's say that aspartame's something that maybe in future generations people will be like, what? I can't believe they consume this willingly.
They should,
But now
would have been more healthier just taking the damn cocaine.
But people at that point, maybe like 100 years in the future, people are going through airports with balloons full of aspartame up their bum, trying to sneak them into like whatever.
Aspartame.
Yeah.
Hidden
Put the
packages of
aspartame.
Splenda.
Yeah. So it's a hard call. Do you guys think that does this whole cocaine thing kind of ring true? Like, how are you guys feeling about that?
When I was a kid, I just oh shit, you didn't go there.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I went to the Coke factory in Atlanta, and I remember just like part of the tour. It's like, this is the history of Coca-Cola, and there was like, there was cocaine in Coca-Cola.
Did they admit that there still is cocaine in order to keep the recipe?
It's the same thing like you just said. Like, it's like a little bit just to keep the recipe in there,
Just
but
to keep that kick going.
it's like, But earlier, just thinking about this, I just picturing Sigmund Freud instead of Santa Claus just selling Coca-Cola.
With like a needle in his arm. Like an abused domestic partner in the background.
That would have
Holding
been
a baby.
such a good commercial.
And the baby has like red eyes and is just like that Tico guy from Breaking Bad. Just yeah. So okay, well then let's talk about Avril Lavigne and how wonderful she is.
Fan number one fan. Do you think Avril's been replaced?
Well, I mean, if she wasn't replaced, then she had some very serious head trauma because she decided to marry Chad Kroeger.
Country star Chad Kroeger.
Country star Chad Kroeger.
I take great offense to that.
Rock country star. Alt rock country star. Can we put like
Nope.
how many different kind of
Nope.
mixed in
Nope.
genres? Pop, alt rock? No?
Nope.
So
That is
you're
blasphemy.
So your idea behind the whole idea that yes, this is in fact real,
why not?
is Avril / Melissa's decision making since then.
I mean,
Especially with regards to men.
I think that it's a thing that people in power may do sometimes when they're about to cash in on somebody and they die.
Oh, something
Let's
like that.
just replace them. Yeah.
I'm not trying to get my opinion over your opinion. I'm just saying, like, there's probably more to work there than that they just replaced her with a doppelganger.
I mean, part of the formula is that she would have had to have died at 27, not 19.
That's true. There's
the magical number right there.
Yeah.
True enough. And how old is she now? She's definitely over 27.
Oh, she's got to be in her
She's
30s by now.
still young enough for me.
Just one of those things where age is just a number.
Just a number.
Just a number. When it comes to love,
Doesn't even matter.
it doesn't matter.
Love knows no bounds.
Exactly.
It's one of those.
Don't let my wife listen to this.
Just that moment where her songs have spoken to you. You know,
That's right.
when you're looking at her through the screen,
Yeah,
She's speaking right to me.
when she's singing Hello Kitty.
and the lyrics, like Britney Spears' lyrics talked about clones,
Yeah.
right? Who's to say? Like maybe Britney Spears like was not very abrupt as I would say Avril Lavigne was, where she was like, "I have a rope." You know?
No, I just have a razor.
Well, I mean, it is interesting that they went so specific as to the fact that she hanged herself. What's the past tense
Hung?
of hung?
Hung.
There we go.
Like me.
In good English. Yeah, there we go. Avril, Melissa, if you're out there listening, yes.
I'm a grower, not a shower. I don't know. It's funny. I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think Avril Lavigne needed to be replaced. She was good just the way she was. And everybody's allowed to make mistakes. Everybody gets one. Just like Spider-Man says in Family Guy. Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
Tell him, Peter.
Thanks, Spider-Man.
Everybody gets one. Tell him, Peter.
Apparently everybody gets one.
Bingo.
So Greg, what do you think about this whole Superman thing? Do you think that they should have like deliberately tried to cover it up, or like the Superstache?
Shave it all off.
Shave it off and replace
Burn it all.
Yeah.
First of all, there's the thing called Dollar Shave Club. You shave that fucking thing off, and you can just grow another mustache for your, or just have the CG stash.
Now, I know I have a very beautiful, beautiful face, and it looks like I try to like keep it as like clean as possible. I couldn't grow them. If you had a gun, like gun to my head, gun to my nuts, gun to my children,
Good old nut gun.
and they're like, you grow a mustache or pow pow, I'd be like, I'm sorry. Like, you're just gonna have to pull the trigger. This thing doesn't work. Like my lips, which you can maybe hear, blah blah blah, like they just don't grow hair. It's embarrassing. But
So you obviously need a CG stash.
I would need a CG stash, and I would be fine with a CG.
Yeah,
stash.
sure.
And if you're Superman, even if just the thought of him how could they take that seriously? The other actors like interacting with him. God, dressed as Superman with a mustache.
First of
It's
all, the biggest
insanity.
problem is that you keep making Superman movies, and that shit needs to stop.
Oh, I just, this is so bizarre. I just can't get the image of Superman with a mustache out of my head. Like I'm like, there's like a French Canadian version
it's
of
the
him.
last thing you see before you go to bed, and the first thing you see when you open your eyes.
He's got a poster
It's
of
ooh,
Henry in his bedroom.
Superstache.
Just handsome Henry, and he looks great
Mission
with a mustache.
Impossible.
Oh, they could have just gone with him being like, because they bring him back to life in the spoilers. If you guys didn't see that movie, right? Not you good English. He comes back to life, and they're like, oh, he's got a beard now because he was dead for a little while, and that's what happens. I guess
that makes sense.
that does make sense
He
because
grew a beard.
Yeah,
we all
that
know-
makes total sense.
you open
I
a
was
coffin,
dead for a
it's
minute.
just
Now
a-
I got a beard.
It's a superhero movie. It doesn't have to make sense. It's not Gone with the Wind.
my nails are long and I've got a beard. Yeah, they could have done that.
My hair kept growing when I was deceased.
Yeah. I don't know this whole thing, but in terms of, I guess this isn't really a conspiracy that we can vote on because it's been admitted.
Just stop making Superman movies. Make a Swamp Thing movie. Make an Animal Man movie. You got other characters.
I guess you could.
What about Nicolas Cage for Superman? Let's bring that back.
Yeah, do that again. But actually make the movie this time.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I will give this on the Nicolas Cage movie, and did you guys see that documentary on that, like The Death of Superman Lives? And it's all about, it shows like pictures from Superman as Nicolas Cage, or Nicolas Cage as Superman, and
I just saw the photos online.
him trying the suit on, and it's all lights and stuff. Did you see this, Charlie? It's a great documentary.
Yep. Yeah. I haven't seen the documentary, but I've seen the photos.
Oh man. And so in it they talk about how Nick Cage clearly would have played up the fact that Superman is an alien, like not a human being. And I'm like, if there's one thing that he nails, it's like he's not a human being. There's something else going on there. He's high on cocaine. He's whatever. Yeah, but he's not just a straight up normal human being. Yeah.
Well, that's Nick Cage for you. For every one good movie, there's 4 shitty ones out there.
It's almost like there's like 3 versions of Nick Cage. Like there's the one that showed up in Kick-Ass, and then there's the one that's in like National Treasure or whatever.
The Wicker Man.
Yeah.
The bees.
The bees. Guys. I've got bees. I've got bees in my trousers. I don't know. That movie is so bizarre.
That's a killer Nick Cage accent.
Yeah. I got bees in my trousers. You guys saw Kick-Ass, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the scene with him killing all the people in the factory.
What about Weatherman?
Weatherman's great.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Sure.
Yeah. For every good one, there's real bad ones. What about both of the Ghost Rider movies?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he phones it in when it's not a real intellectual property.
It's hard to believe that the guy from Leaving Las Vegas is the same guy in National Treasure. Yeah. Yeah.
You get the Nick Cage that you pay for.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a daily motto. That's a mantra of mine.
Greg mentioned Spider-Man earlier, and Nick Cage was fantastic in Into the Spider-Verse. Have you guys seen that?
That was outstanding.
Oh, man.
It was a great movie.
I took my daughter, and she's like, this is scary in the spider scene. She didn't like it, and she just like in and out of the lobby the whole time. And I'm sitting there just bawling my eyes out. I'm like, this is the best Spider-Man movie that's ever been made.
Where this is when you leave her with a stranger and you just watched a movie.
Exactly. I'm like, that guy behind us who's wearing clown makeup, you're going to sit with him. I didn't say that. That's
Go hang out with it.
Go hang out with it. All right. Well, I think that takes us to the end.
Woo!
Yay.
We made it.
Thanks so much for stopping by, and please feel free to subscribe, rate, review, etc. None of us know how this works, but apparently that helps us do the things. If someone's like rating or reviewing or subscribing or whatever, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it helps.
You gotta do it. You gotta give the 5 stars. You gotta rate and review.
Exactly. We are now on Twitter at It's a Conspiracy.
Is it a conspiracy?
Is it a conspiracy? There we go. Thanks, myself. On Instagram at It's a Conspiracy Podcast. On email at itsaconspiracy@protonmail.com. And if you'd like to help support the show, then please check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/itsaconspiracy page, or just tell a friend. Tell more than one friend. Tell 5 friends.
Tell 2 friends. And they'll tell 2 friends. And they'll tell 2 friends. And they'll tell 2 friends.
We all know that story.
Well, we just had like 110 followers on Instagram.
Woo!
No? So
Breaking the century mark.
Doing not too bad. Keep telling people. Keep following.
Amazing.
Hashtag It's a Conspiracy.
I mean, it's easy because it's free and fun. Plus, get to talk to your friends about it. I wish I had friends to talk to.
And that's why we're here tonight.
So we will be back for an Easter special, and then episode 10 will be out on May 1st.
There's more specials than regular episodes, Andrew.
Well, I mean, we got to keep people on their toes. That's the way it goes, right? I mean, what makes an episode special, really? Isn't that the question?
It's extra.
It's extra special.
Super
We
bougie.
give you more content, more bang for your buck. So that's what makes it so fun. You can enjoy it in your heart. Maybe even the subcockle area of your heart.
Right in the subcockles. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. See ya.